So we've got a Monday Daytona 500 race, and we've intended to have a recap of the race for this show. Nope, not happening.
I've got plenty more to still go over, though.
Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com. That's generaltire.com to find the tires for your righteous ride. After her news and notes, the stories. Each of our top story for 2024, the NASCAR Cup season, following Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes. Crasher?
All right. Well, this weekend, we talked about it just a little bit ago. Supposed to be about the Daytona 500 and all the supporting races throughout the state of Florida, but no, not much of that panned out. The Xfinity Series 300-miler will now begin a doubleheader Monday, culminating with the 66th running of the Daytona 500. Happy President's Day, everyone.
Right.
All right, races that did see checker flags were the Truck Series. Nick Sanchez, the victor, after surviving, a sixth-lap melee and then avoiding carnage himself for the remaining 95 laps to take the win. Hear me out here, guys. 51 of the 101 laps run in Friday's truck race were yellow. That's a smidge over 50% of that race that was devoted to you going to the bathroom and refilling your beer, not actual action on the track.
You know what? I want to talk about that, Crasher.
What's wrong with that?
After Pit News and Notes. So go ahead and get. That's all right, Richie. Stay with the single.
All right. So I might just be furious because we didn't have much on-track action at all weekend anyway, and then you get that on Friday night. I'm glad we're going to talk about that later. The ARCA race was then run very later that Friday night into Saturday morning. Kenny just talked about not getting back to his hotel until 4 a.m., but that was after a 1:30 a.m. interview with eventual winner Gus Dean. He also survived a pileup early in the race and then just held on for his win. His second win on the week, by the way, partnering with his late model win in New Smyrna. That's actually pretty good news. Other news this past week, though, not on track. David Malukas, IndyCar driver. He underwent surgery on the torn ligaments in his left wrist following a mountain bike crash in Arizona, where we are right now. It's estimated he will be out approximately 6 weeks following the removal of his stitches, which is set to be this Sunday. Now, nothing has been official yet, but with Arrow McLaren just on Friday. Stay tuned for that. Speaking of IndyCar, it became official last week that their season finale would move from the downtown streets, all that Broadway promotion that they did last year, of Nashville to the Nashville Speedway, thanks mostly to a last-minute salvaged effort by Scott Borchetta. Not IndyCar brass. That's all allegedly. By the way, Scott Borchetta and Taylor Swift, they still besties?
We're not going to talk about that. No rabbit holes. No rabbit holes.
I'm just saying the answer to that is no. But what's the latest now on Christian Horner? Alleged WhatsApp messages were uncovered by a Dutch newspaper. Christian Horner, of course, the team boss for Red Bull. These WhatsApp messages take the story a little bit further and put a more sexual component to, the allegations against him. Formula One just Sunday issued a statement urging the investigations by Red Bull to be sped up. Apparently, a resolution is wanted by many powers that be before the F1 season begins 2024 in just a couple of weeks. We'll see.
Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes, again, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Go to generaltire.com to find the tires for that big old fat ride of yours. Let's do this, Freak Nation. I want to talk about that truck race and the ARCA Series race that, I don't know if you have 51 laps under caution, is that a race?
It's hard.
Statman, you remember the days, and we're going to sound like old dudes on our lawn and our white socks and our black flip-flops.
With the white socks going in between the little toes.
What's wrong with that? That's stylish.
Watching the truck race Friday night from the track was a miserable experience. Gone are the days of Ron Hornaday and company of getting through a truck race with maybe 3-4 accidents. And I understand it's Daytona, but my gosh, if you caught any glimpse of that race, there's no redeeming value of that race at all. Statman, you made note of it at Phoenix. You saw what happened in the last race of the year in Phoenix.
That was ARCA, right?
No, that was the
trucks as
Truck
well?
Series.
Okay.
How Ben Rhodes ended up winning the championship was just
right.
It was stupid racing. And again, stupid racing Friday night in the Truck Series. I don't know how you remedy it, Statman, Crash, Suave, to help prevent this from happening again.
Let's put that out on social media because you're right. Something, Statman brought this up last year, something has to change.
They got to change the standards that they use to select drivers. It's got to be something more than a suitcase of money on somebody's desk and say, sure, you can go drive my car, truck. We don't have the same level of drivers that are getting in these machines. So what do you expect? Like we're saying, this showed up at Phoenix last year and just a couple of months ago, and it's not going to change. It's going to be maybe not that bad, but it's going to be bad all year. I didn't see anybody at Phoenix who would qualify to run in a Cup race or even an Xfinity race right away.
Well, tell that to Hocevar, who, again, has a full-time Cup ride right now going in the 2023 season, and he was part of the trucks. Listen, I understand competition. I get competition, but the shrapnel that's left on the track and what it does to fans, it was a miserable experience. And this is on the heels, excuse me, of ARCA moving their race on the backside of the truck race. And we know what ARCA does at Daytona. It's Shrapnel Fest 2024. It's just what it is. And it was, again. So when I'm hearing individuals that collect paychecks when they're paid from the order of NASCAR, when NASCAR's paying these individuals to cover their content, when I hear them bashing the trucks, then they've got issues. These are individuals that, from my standpoint, are a little concerned about what they might say to offend NASCAR. I gotta say that believe that the racing committee inside the NASCAR walls, they've got to find a way to correct this because it was a bad experience for individuals there that were hanging out waiting on this freaking truck race to finish.
They gotta raise the standards.
Yeah,
but bottom line, they gotta raise the standards. It's got to be something more than here's $400,000. I want a seat in your car.
But how? Because what's different now than we witnessed 20 years ago when the racing in trucks was so much better? The standards were the same, allegedly. So what's changed and how has it gotten so bad?
They chose guys who had experience, more than 6 months worth of late models, and they had experience racing, maybe racing their own equipment so they wouldn't tear it up as easily. But they had guys with experience. Ron Hornaday was a track champion in several places. Ron Flowers, is that his name? The guy used to drive in Corvettes as well. He raced in trucks. The guys that had experience raced in these machines, and they didn't depend on people who showed up. Like Henley won a kart race, and if you guys had $400,000, you'd put it on somebody's desk and get her a ride. She'd have to sit on 7 seats to get up to see over the steering wheel. But I mean, for crying out loud, Kenny, you and I drove fast enough years ago to qualify for a truck race, and we had nothing going on. So, these guys are showing up and they don't know what they're doing, and they're putting the car in places that are dangerous, and they're just tearing up equipment. You would think the owners would say, give me a break here. Go sit down. Go learn how to drive.
Quickly, Richie.
No, I found a tweet where someone had talked to one of the owners of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, saying that the organization suffered $100,000 in damages to their trucks.
Wow.
$100,000 for a smaller team, right? We gotta go. Rayun Brothers, $100,000.
Whoa.
Bubba Wallace is going to aggravate some people coming up next.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. Let's go! Yeah! For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.